Support for Jalen and Jacoby comes from Blue Apron. Blue Apron delivers farm-fresh, perfectly portioned ingredients and step-by-step recipes so you can make incredible meals at home. Rediscover how fun cooking can be while reducing food waste and supporting sustainable farms and fisheries. Visit blueapron.com/Jalen to get your first 3 meals, a $30 value, free with free shipping.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, dog?
I am David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
And we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do we do, Mr. Rose?
We get to find supporters of this program exactly what they want, when they want it, when they need it.
Let's start doing that right now.
Yes, indeed.
Friday. Happy Friday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out. You made it through the week. Thank you for joining us on Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. LeBron.
The king.
Like they were going to go down 2-1.
I'm going down.
Down 26 points.
I'm going down.
And that 26-point lead went down.
'Cause you ain't around.
And now they put the largest halftime deficit in NBA playoff history down in the record books. Is this a reminder that LeBron is the best player in basketball?
Yep. He's the most accomplished player in basketball. The best player throughout the regular season is the person that's going to win MVP. That's probably going to be Russell Westbrook or James Harden.
It's going to be Russell Westbrook. We all know that.
It's laughable when I hear people talk about him now being the quote-unquote real MVP. That's a regular season award, which he's won 4 times because he was the best player throughout the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a postseason award that he's also won 3 times.
He's got that too.
Now this is the second season where he turns it up.
So this game was interesting because LeBron kind of turned it up himself. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love did not see the floor in the fourth quarter. And reportedly, Ty Lue sort of had, I don't think he asked permission, but he kind of got their blessing not to go back in the fourth. I have a lot of questions with you about this, but does that surprise you? Is that practice normal?
The practice is normal. He did not have to get their permission. Here's how that works. We're up 2-0. 2 of our 3 best players are our weaker defenders. We're actually going to be better on that end of the ball when they're out of the game.
They scored 74 in the first half. Something needed to change.
Now, the play isn't over until you get the rebound, and Kevin Love is the best player on their team to do that. But outside of that, when you look at their roster, those 2 players usually are the worst defenders that they have on the floor.
That's interesting.
So when you're playing against the Cavs, and say you're a team like the Washington Wizards, who I think they may play in the conference finals, you got to get up on them early. Then you're going to force them to make the decision, are we going to leave weaker defenders, Kyrie and Love, in the game? Because they're so explosive, especially Kyrie, to me, has the best handles in the game.
Best finisher around the rim, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Left hand, right hand,
weird
twirls.
angles,
Absolutely.
going up, bouncing off people,
Jumps
finishing
off both
easy.
legs.
It goes right through the hoop. Doesn't hit the rim and dribble around and bounce off the backboard. It looks smooth.
And he proved last year in the finals that he's clutch. But with that being said, we're not talking about the other end of the floor. He can't be a liability on that other end of the floor. There's a reason why all players have strengths and weaknesses.
Of course.
And therefore, you show up to try to attack those. Kevin Love got benched in the playoffs last year for the exact same reason. Kyrie Irving had multiple times where he was on the sideline because of the exact same thing. So for everybody that was watching the game last night, don't think that's going to be the only time in this playoffs that you see one, if not both of those guys on the sideline at a crucial time.
It's interesting because Kyrie brings so much on the offensive end. He brings so much, but when you have LeBron James, LeBron can make up for that.
Who leads them in points? LeBron. Who leads them in assists?
LeBron. The answer is LeBron.
Okay, so he brings them so much.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And Kyrie Irving is allowed to play a role that I'm a terrific scorer, and when I get going, it's 25, 30 points, but it may be 5 assists. That's just the strength of his game. And so when LeBron is going to get you 40, you can put Kyle Korver out there spot minutes. You could put Channing Frye out there spot minutes and use the other players to give you the defensive intangibles in order to try to get you back into the game like we saw versus Indiana.
You remember LeBron's obsession with The Godfather. He was saying he watches The Godfather all through the playoffs last year. He even brought the book to one of the games. Lately, he was on Richard Jefferson's Snapchat, apparently like reading The Godfather in one of those cryogenic chambers or whatever. He pretends that he's always watching The Godfather.
But here's the thing. How long is it going to take you to read that book?
He's never going to finish the book. He's never going to finish it.
At least he's breaking stereotypes. I appreciate that.
But now he's got something new. Let's give a listen to LeBron answering a question about Kendrick Lamar's new album.
I haven't stopped listening to it since he sent it to me. I don't even know if that was last week or not before it came out. And the guy is an unbelievable talent. His wordplay and his lyrics is unbelievable. And it hit home for me at times because I
haven't stopped listening to it, LeBron. I haven't stopped listening to it.
What? How about the humble brag? Pun intended. You like that?
Yeah. Ever since he sent it to me, I don't even remember. What was it, last month? Was it 3 years ago?
You left out the important part. Before it came out.
Before it came out. Yeah. I don't even remember. I mean, I just get so many tracks. They get all confused. I don't know if this is this album or the next album or whatever.
LeBron.
We know, dude.
You're a wonderful basketball player, and I got to tell you a secret. You ain't the only guy listening to Kendrick's album.
Yeah,
I can tell when Russell Westbrook showed up at the game with 2 buttons done up on his shirt and his chest hanging out, he was listening to it as well.
Yeah, you can
because
tell.
Guess where he's from? He's actually from California.
Exactly. Also, don't sleep on Talib Kweli. Don't sleep on
Styles.
Rick Ross. Don't sleep on all the other stuff. You have to switch it up, LeBron. You can't just listen to one album all the time. Trust me. Raekwon's got a new album out. Come on, LeBron, switch it up. After the terrible, horrific performance that the Toronto Raptors put up in Milwaukee to lose Game 3, to go down 2-1 in the series, you said what after that game ended?
The Raptors will win this series.
Why do you think that?
Every time a win or a loss takes place during playoff basketball, people severely overreact either way.
That's what we do. I do that specifically.
I'm not one of those people. And what I think is eventually going to take place is the consistent just talent on the roster of the Toronto Raptors and the balance that they can have when they get going is eventually going to be what puts them in a position to win this series. The Bucks are doing a terrific job of not turning over the ball, being selective when they shoot, dominating the paint. Greg Monroe's playing quality minutes. Middleton's knocking down shots. The Greek freaks all over the place on both ends of the floor. Dellavedova's having a big-time contribution. But they don't have guys that can go out and get you 25.
No.
The Raptors have a couple of those guys in their backcourt, and Lowry and DeRozan. I think they'll get better as the series progresses. Serge Ibaka has shown that he can make open threes,
get hot.
And he still is going to get you the boards and the blocks.
Block shots.
Valanciunas is a key. As a 7-footer that can score on the block, get you double-figure boards and or a couple of blocks, he now has to use that size on the interior if it's not only to score the ball, but to be a force, create fouls, suck in the defense to allow their shooters some room to operate. I think as the series progresses, since they have multiple players on the offensive end that specialize in putting the ball in the basket, they will find a way to prevail. And obviously that's not taking anything from the Bucks because a lot of people just getting turned on to them. I've been calling them team futuristic for 5 years. And that was because of the Greek freak.
Finally, after the Wizards beat the Hawks in the closing seconds, the basketball was just bouncing. Kelly Oubre walks over and in jubilation kicks the ball into the stands. He was then fined for $25,000. $25,000 for a celebratory kick into the stands. Do you think that's justice?
That's the right amount.
No.
Based on how fines have been distributed. And you can't kick the basketball, David Jacoby.
Can you take out your mouth guard in the NBA Finals and intentionally hit somebody in the head with it? Can you do that?
Steph Curry got
Can you do that?
ejected from the game? You mean that time?
Yes.
Okay.
He tried to assault somebody with a mouth guard.
You can't kick the basketball. What if
It's different if you're happy than if you're mad.
No,
though.
it doesn't.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. If you're celebrating, you don't no money. Celebrating, no money. If you're frustrated, money. That's how it should work.
For all you know, this is what I love about sports. He could have been happy that the team won, but frustrated about something he did or something he didn't do in the game. That happens all of the time, one. Two, you can't have people kicking the basketball because what if it hit somebody upside the head in the stands? It doesn't mean because they was happy or sad that it didn't take place. And lastly, I still have this challenge to the league. When I see Russell Westbrook getting fined for his post-game comments, Kelly Oubre getting fined for kicking the basketball in the stands,
getting fined $35.
That money should stay in that community where those people play.
We're going to keep saying that until it happens. We're going to keep saying that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write a strongly worded letter.
Yeah, get your Anne Hathaway on.
To Adam Silver. Or should I write Kiki? I'll write Kiki. You always go to the guy next to the guy. Kiki, give me your address.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
I've got information about a new Friday movie. John Witherspoon is an actor.
Pops!
He's known for a lot of different roles, but he is known for being Pops on Friday. Well, I believe we've got some new information. I saw this on TMZ from Pops, John Witherspoon, about Friday. Let's listen to Pop.
I was at the airport. I saw Ice Cube. Cube said they're going to do another Friday. He said he wanted to meet with me this week, but he couldn't make it. But we're going to meet next week and get things together. The guy, new guy at Warner Brothers. Thank God.
Yeah. Jalen, another Friday is in the works. You're not just an ex-jock. You're not just co-host of Jalen Jacoby. You're not just network TV talent on NBA Countdown. You're also an executive producer. You've got your own production company. So I'm going to pitch you on 5 ideas for the next Friday movie.
Okay.
And I want you to evaluate them and pick your favorite. Are you ready?
Let's get it.
This one's called Friday the 13th. They solve a murder mystery.
Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it
Good Friday. They have to be good. They can't smoke weed all day.
I like that a lot.
Okay. Last Friday. They have to survive the apocalypse.
Don't like that at all. Keep it moving.
We be moving, you know, we keep it moving.
Friday. F-R-Y space D-A-Y. They just eat French fries.
Too cheesy.
They just eat French fries all day long. It's just them eating French fries and smoking weed.
No.
No? What about High Day? They just smoke weed. No French fries, just them smoking weed.
I dislike 4 of those 5 ideas.
Hey, we got a winner then.
But
we got a winner.
There's never a bad idea in a brain session. So therefore, number 2, I like that a lot. Good Friday.
Good Friday. They can't smoke weed. You flip it because it's all about them smoking weed the whole time. Good Friday. You flip it. They can't. Hilarity ensues. You're welcome. Send me my check.
Yep.
You know, there's different levels to wealth. We've explored this. One level is when you use the word yacht not as a noun, but as a verb. You know what I mean? Oh, I went yachting last week. Or last week I was yachting. Maybe we'll do some yachting together next summer. That's a high level. That's Oprah. Oprah went on a yacht trip. She explained to TMZ who was on this trip. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, Tom Hanks, Bruce Springsteen, and others, but those were the most notable. My questions for you are these.
Bruce Springsteen.
Can you name
the boss?
Can you name a Bruce Springsteen song?
Yeah, Born in the USA.
Okay. Can you name a Tom Hanks movie?
Forrest Gump.
Great job by you, Jalen. Great job by you. Who is Barack Obama?
The 44th president.
Great job. Your man, Jim Harbaugh.
What you call him?
The Kanye West of college football is at it again. He's just keeping himself in the headlines. This time he is taking the Wolverines and he's taking them to Italy.
I bet their accommodation is going to be way better than when we went in the early 90s.
Yes, they are.
And they won't be going to the casino trying to gamble, lose all of their money, taking a taxi back, trying to jump out and run in another country.
They are not doing that.
How dumb was that?
Very dumb. What? They are going to have time with the Pope. They're going to practice. They're going to take in an opera. They're going to learn some Italian cooking tips. They're also going to visit a gladiator training center. Didn't know those still existed. And they're going to reenact a little bit of Italian history with paintball guns. I have no idea what that last one is about. But one thing I found interesting is a lot of players will use this like 1 or 2 week trip as a jumping off point because they do not have football duties in May. They will go on like a month-long sabbatical studying abroad. Some are going to South America. Some are going to other places in Europe. My question is this.
Where they getting all of this bread from?
Thank you. That's one question. And my other question is, how long is too long to be away from home? Like, how long is too long to be on a trip to another country?
7 days.
I'm going 10 days. Like, after 10 days, it's like, just get me back into my bed. I don't care how much fun I'm having. I don't care how unique and how beautiful it is where I'm at. I just want to be back in my bed.
I would say it depends on how long between vacations you are. If you're somebody that get to do multiple vacations, you can't be that way.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your only time to vacation, I would say 2 weeks.
How are the college kids affording all this?
I don't know. I wish they had this checkbook when I was in school. And people act like we was getting bread.
And there is one single donor, one single human being is responsible for all of this trip to Italy. Just one person.
The football office.
No, one person. They don't name it. It's just like some booster. Let's get them to sponsor JRLA.
Exactly.
Let's get that contact information.
So they're going to be like studying
We don't
abroad,
have to go to Italy. We're trying to go across town
Italian,
over here. Yeah.
Learning how to
Cooking
cook.
tips.
Yeah.
Paintball guns. Yeah.
But I am all for taking people, in particular youngsters, out of their comfort zone and exposing them to different climates and cultures. That's a beautiful thing because guess where I was when the season ended?
Detroit.
Back in the hood.
Cam has now spoken about his Coachella outfit.
Oh, Cam.
We all remember the Coachella outfit. It would look like a romper. It was a floral pattern. He had a hat on with a green ribbon. He had a cigar that he never lit. Just some weird glasses. He was just doing his Cam thing. Here's what he had to say about the outfit, which leads to a lot of follow-up questions. He said, quote, "When you're able to have sauce, when you're dripping goo, and for you to not understand that, then you're already out of the loop. Everybody can't do it, and that's what I pride myself on being able to do. I was comfortable. I had fun. I enjoyed myself." Jalen, when he said, for you to not understand that, then you're already out of the loop. Am I out of the loop?
He representing Atlanta.
Am I out of the loop?
I hear that speaking.
I don't understand dripping goo. I don't understand the outfit. I don't understand the cigar. I don't understand any of it. Am I out of the loop? Am I out of the loop?
Let me tell you when you would understand what Cam said. If your favorite restaurant was Waffle House.
It's not.
Nope.
That's when you would understand what he said. Now, romper, wasn't a fan of it.
Dripping goo?
The cigar, you don't necessarily want your starting quarterback to be smoking tobacco.
Does he have sauce?
I don't know if he lit it or not. But here's something I want to get back to, and please tweet us about this.
What's that?
The over-under for men wearing bracelets.
It's just, there's too many bracelets
Too
on
many
this guy.
bracelets.
Too many bracelets.
And you said 3.5, that's too many.
And the other thing is, a lot of those
I say 2.5.
A lot of those are rope bracelets. Do you know how hard it is to tie a rope bracelet onto your right wrist? Do you know how hard it is to do that? You got to get your mouth involved. You got to do the knot. It's impossible to tie a rope bracelet on. You can't
So
do more than two of
please
that.
let us know your over-under for men wearing multiple bracelets at the same time.
So the Jazz are trying
We got the Jazz
to take out the Clippers in the NBA playoffs. One of the ways that the Jazz are doing this is the Jazz are paying for their fans to get haircuts. What? One haircut with two conditions. Has to be at certain locations. And the second condition is you either have to get the Hayward or the Gobert. So you either have to get like a little hook line into your haircut, or you get the full shaved in part Hayward. My question for you is, which one would I look better with?
Definitely the part.
You don't want to see me with a hook line?
No.
No?
What do the fans get in return again?
A haircut for free.
I don't like that trade.
Jalen, how much do you pay per haircut?
Too much.
That's what I figured. You'd probably save $100,000 a year if you got free haircuts.
Hey, but you know what? You got to take wins when you can get them.
Well, you've been beating Reggie with the waves lately. I'll tell you that much.
What?
Do you want
you didn't say yep or no. Listen to him.
Do you want the Tim Tebow update?
No, keep it moving.
Okay, we'll keep it moving.
We be moving, you know we keep it moving.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. If you leave us a voicemail and the producers pick it, they'll play it on the show just like this.
This is Bo from Chicago. Tomorrow's my last day of school. I'm out here. They know I'm out here. I'm graduating with my doctorate in dental medicine. Reggie, I love what you do. Let me get that applause. Thank you. You're far too kind. Jalen, thanks for playing in the Shy where you had your career high average in points for a season, even though you got roasted by my MJ Bulls in the East Finals. It's okay. Here's the deal. My frat brother can't pronounce Giannis Antetokounmpo. He refuses to call another man freak, so he calls him another name. Soft move or boss move, referring to Giannis Antetokounmpo as Geo Antelope because you can't pronounce his name. Keep getting them checks. P.S. Hey, Jacoby, 2 words for you. Shut up.
He listens to the show.
Yes.
He knows more about the show than I do.
Yes.
He listens to the show. I really, really appreciate
Stand up,
the call.
Chi-Town.
We love our everyday listeners.
And congratulations. Doctorate, dental medicine.
Last day of school?
Where were you in 1994?
Yeah.
When I was getting drafted. Okay, and the first thing I did after I shook David Stern's hand was to burn the red and white suit mentally and go get veneers.
They look
Maybe
great.
You could have did my work.
Teeth look great. I listen to NBA playoff games on radio sometimes. When I'm driving my minivan or when I'm jogging or walking with the kids, a lot of times I don't have the time to sit there and watch the 5-hour block because I have so many responsibilities professionally and personally. So I listen on the NBA app to the game on the radio. It's a great way to experience a sports game. Radio. They call Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Bucks radio announcers, every time he hits a 3, they go, ABC 1, 2, 3, or no, ABC the alphabet for 3, or something like that.
Soft move.
You can't call him the alphabet.
Nope.
Like Geo Antelope is better than the alphabet.
Yep.
Is that Gus Johnson? My mentor, my brother?
It might
from
be.
Detroit?
Is it a boss move now? It's still a soft move, Jay.
That's my mentor.
It's still a soft. All right, I'm gonna call it a soft move.
Well, he still gets on me. He blames me for the fact he will have called timeout.
What?
He said, you should have went and got the ball.
You should have the ball. Why is he taking the ball up?
I mean, he's only been doing it since his 8th grade.
Why is he taking the ball up? Who's the point guard on the team? Go get the ball. Go get the ball. You don't see Steven Adams dribbling up the ball. Russell Westbrook gets right in his pocket, takes the ball.
Hey, I own it. Whatever.
What? You know what? We'll do a whole segment on that later. How it's actually your fault. I like this.
Yeah, we can blame it on me.
Let's do it. Thank you so much for the call. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Jalen Jacoby was good. Shout out. It's Will from the Bronx again. I want to ask you guys about Redman. A lot of people my age, I'm 21. A lot of people my age don't listen to Redman, don't know the importance of his music. Can you guys just give me a perspective on that? I know you guys are big fans.
I like callers like that. Direct, to the point.
Yes.
And he's talking about bars.
Redman.
And you know, I get enthusiastic when people want to talk about that.
And I get enthusiastic about Redman as well. And it's almost like different foods. You like lobster. I like lobster too. I also like steak. But do you know what I don't do? I don't sit around debating whether lobster or steak is better in my head all day long. But for some reason with hip hop, people have to do that. Oh, Kendrick has to be the best. Or Future has to be the best. They're just different flavors for different moods. And that's how I look at Redman. Is he one of my 5 favorite MCs? Yes, he is. Do I sit there and say objectively, is he one of the 5 best MCs to ever rhyme? Probably not. But he's one of my favorites. My personal opinion is sometimes I want Redman, and that just happens to be all the time.
Relationships work for so many reasons. This is one of the main reasons our relationship works.
Bars?
No, because you're the only person besides Bill Simmons that loves Larry Bird as much as I do.
I love Larry Bird.
And Redman as much as I do.
I love Redman.
You love him so much that I can't acknowledge him around you. I act like I don't even like him.
No,
because
you can't.
You love him
I'll
so much.
try to trump him with my fandom.
No
yeah.
doubt.
I'm competitive with my Redman
no
fandom.
No question.
It's like really loving Dr. Pepper. It's like, I love Dr. Pepper. I want a Dr. Pepper. Going to a restaurant and be like, give me a Dr. Pepper. They'll look at you crazy.
And so to pull you behind the curtain, early 90s, EPMD, I'm hanging out with them. Everyone knows that Redman was a part of their crew with DOS Effects. So getting the chance to see all of that happen at the embryo stage, and then him becoming the type of artist that had me walking around with a piece of tissue in my nose, I got bad sinuses. And with the Timberland boots on, running, working out, probably the reason why my tendonitis is so bad these days. He goes down as one of those artists, and I know I'll forget some people that are real lyricists that just get overlooked when you talk about the history of the game. Coogee Rap comes to mind, KRS-One. Fab currently.
He's not known as like a lyricist. You know, like the caller was like how important Redman is. It's like,
he's not?
No, he's not. He's not a storyteller like Ghostface or Nas. You know what I mean? He's not like Kendrick Lamar, sort of like starting a revolution. He's a punchline, fun,
Time
good
for some
time
action
rapper.
is a story.
He's a punchline, fun, good time rapper, and that's fine. Not every novel needs to be War and Peace. Sometimes it's Hunger Games.
He's one of our favorites, and you have to be hanging on these immortal walls of our studio.
He's never coming down.
And he's the only person that's hanging on the wall, and he's on our intro song.
I love Redman. Thank you so much for the call. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey, Jalen Jacoby, this is Jason from Wisconsin. Go Bucks, of course. But speaking of my Bucks, I got a soft move or boss move kind of question for you guys. Was it a soft move or boss move that the Bucks staff or Bucks people played the Barney theme song as introducing the Raptors players? And I guess a side question, does Jalen even know who Barney is? And if so, maybe what color is he would be a good question. And I know, Jacoby, you like this topic because it's kind of plays into the you can be fun or you can be mean as long as it's funny. And I thought that was pretty funny. All right, thanks, guys. Keep getting them checks and giving the people what they want since I am a person. Thanks, guys.
He's a person.
Our callers are smarter than us now.
Definitely doing the show better than we are. Yep. I don't like when they say keep getting them checks. I don't get, it's like, come on. Not getting that many checks.
You should like it because we did the show for the first 4 years and it wasn't in our contract.
That's very fair. To address the most important question is this. Do you know who Barney is?
I do, but when he was talking about it, it seemed like I went blank. I know Barney's purple.
Yes, Barney is purple. Great word from you. Barney is purple.
Barney, I don't know why he has an odd shape.
Yes, yep. What else do you know about Barney, Jalen?
He's a cartoon. He participates in one movie.
He's like he's kind of like a Sesame Street character, like a big dinosaur. He's like a kids show dinosaur that's very popular. Kids shows, they're only hot for a few years. Like my kid's into Paw Patrol right now, but Paw Patrol's not going to be popping in 10 years. The kids are very fickle. Thank you so much for that. But to answer your question, I would say it was right in the middle. It was probably a boss move for them to play that because not only is it kind of clowning them as being a cartoon dinosaur, the Raptors, but it's also just like it's just the sound of that song is kind of makes you feel soft.
It's a boss move because it's creative. Like usually when teams are getting introduced, fans and or the opposing arena try to come up with clever things to stir the pot. If they didn't do this, we wouldn't be talking about it.
No.
Makes it a boss move. Plus, their team is up 2-1.
That's a boss move. Let's listen to one more.
And they won the game, and they were winning at some point by 30 or 40 points.
Boss move.
What's up, Jalen Jacoby? Is speeding up so that someone can't pass you a soft move or a boss move? Shout out from Bloomington, Illinois. Thanks.
That's a good question. And I think we're going to differ on this one. I think it's a soft move. What? It's a marathon, not a sprint. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm not going to let that person get in front of me. You know what? You got me this time. F-150, Ford F-150. But I got my eye on you. I'm going to keep an eye on you for the next 5 miles. You know what? I'm going to get you back.
Soft move. I'm not the dude sitting at the light, looking left, looking right, trying to race.
Yeah, and it's also like this isn't competitive. Driving is not competitive for me. I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to get where I'm going, listen to my music or my podcast. Just listen to Jalen and Jacoby.
Yes,
I just
indeed.
listen to Jalen and Jacoby as loud as possible to drown out the sounds of my kids and my wife crying. What do we do on the show, Jalen Rose? Part of giving the people what they want is opening up our 1-800-Flowers Twitter feed and taking questions from the audience. First question that we have is from Mario. Mario asks, Kobe said he studied great white sharks to learn how to stop Allen Iverson. What animal would he have to study to figure out how to stop Jalen Rose?
What animal would he have to study?
When he studied the great white sharks killing the seals out of South Africa, do you think he was the shark and Iverson was the seal, or Iverson was the shark and he was learning how Iverson moved?
That all went over my head.
Okay.
But what I will say is, first off, he already conquered me.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't think he's looking at too many tapes.
But I will say this. He's crafting his own narrative.
The Muse Cage thing?
So now when we look back at history, he's telling us all of the things he wants us to say about him.
Of course. Yeah. Everybody does revisionist history when it comes to their own life, especially the further you get from it. You know, like everyone just kind of tweaks little details here and there of their own life experiences for their own favor.
But I do appreciate the fact that as a Renaissance man, having a chance to spend time with him on Countdown, I appreciate him taking time to show up for the pilot that we're shooting. He was gracious in doing that. He didn't have to do either thing. I would say to study what animal, if he was trying to conquer me, how about a panther?
Okay. You have a panther tattooed.
Yeah, I would say a panther.
And what does it say right underneath the panther?
Boss.
In what type of letters?
Bold.
All caps.
Yes, it
Big,
is.
bold, boss.
Big shout to the Mamba. Let's break bread soon.
Shout out.
He's really pushing the Muse Cage thing, though. Like, when he was talking about this, he's like, yeah, that was in my Allen Iverson Muse Cage. It's like, okay, dude. Are you getting paid every time you mention Muse Cage? What's happening?
That's his own thing. That's almost like your favorite UCLA dad mentioning his brand.
Well, I'm glad you didn't even say his name.
LeVar Ball.
Matthias wants to know, what do you think of regular people posting workout pictures on social media?
All of us are regular.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Everyone's regular. What are your thoughts on workout pictures on social media?
Post a workout picture if you're really into it. Like, don't post a workout picture and be a halfway crook.
Yeah. I'm not that interested in other people's workouts. Let's just say that. I'm not that interested.
But if there's something that you can say, well, I need to apply that to my workout, then it's worth sharing. But if it's not anything notable, then don't worry about it.
That's fair. John Dre 3000 wants to know, what's the worst haircut you've ever had? I guarantee at some point in your life you got out of the chair and you're like, let me just get out of here. I want nothing to do with this.
I did. There was a time where I had a bowl haircut. What? And I actually had a tail in the back that wouldn't grow long. What? And I got it blonde.
What? Tell me more, Mr. Rose.
That's all it. That's the only thing to say.
Wait. You had a bowl haircut, so it was just like a straight line, no fade, a bowl haircut, and in the back, sort of JaVale McGee style, you attempted to grow a tail and then just dye the tail blonde?
But see, at least his was able to grow downward.
Yeah.
Mine didn't grow downward.
So like a little puff?
Yes.
And you dyed it blonde?
Yes.
So you go to a salon and they put tinfoil around the back. Like, how does the process work? Did you sit underneath the heat lamp?
I don't remember it being that sophisticated.
Did they spray some lemon juice on it?
Yeah, I just remember it.
Clorox bleach?
Yeah, just getting it blonde.
Just a little dab of bleach on there, on the puff?
To your point, though, it only lasted like a day and a half. Got a baldy real quick.
And is that the real story of the Fab Five all having bald heads?
No, this was way before then. This was back in the starter jacket days.
Yeah. Daniel says, what's a food you eat differently from most people? I usually eat the pizza crust first. This is a layered question. First, let's attack the pizza crust thing. That doesn't make any sense. No. Don't eat the pizza crust first. No. Right? You're just doing it wrong. But I would say there is a food that you eat differently from most people, and you don't even know what I'm thinking of.
I do.
Oh, good.
Crabs.
Yes.
So when I start to indulge in my meal, I want to be able to eat everything and not continue to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So based on if I'm going to order a pound of crab, normally I like to order 2.
To say, yes. It's usually not a pound.
I'm going to 100% crack each of them.
Mm-hmm.
Clean up my space.
You're going to crack it all and then
wash my hands.
Remove all of the meat to have a meat pile.
Absolutely. Pour butter on it, and then put a fork in it and dip those into more butter.
Good for you, Mr. Rose.
And here's another thing you could do.
What's that?
Send them back. Get them to warm them up for you. I just don't love cold food like that. Not shrimp, not crab. Send it back. Get them to warm it up for you.
Oh, Jalen.
I tip well.
You do tip well. You do. You definitely tip well. That, you know what? I think that makes up for that covers up a lot of errors. Just like you could be a jerk. You could be late. You could be messy. Like when I go to a restaurant with the twins and Quincy and my wife, we will take a table and just destroy it. There's just food and juice all over the place.
On the carpet.
But you know what else there is? A nice 30-35% tip right there just to make it all okay. Yep. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on ESPN2 and ESPN News, and subscribing to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
You're far too kind.